Hi everyone, welcome to this week's episode where I talk about my total earnings from microstock for the year 2020. But before I do that, we'll just reflect on a few of the highlights and lowlights of the year. Lowlights definitely outnumbered the highlights for 2020. And one of the biggest lowlights that I suffered as a stock photographer and videographer was the fact that all of the public events were called off. And for me, those events contribute a huge amount of photos and videos towards my portfolio and therefore my income. So a low light for me was the fact that there was no VW exhibition held at Scheveningen this year, and all of the dozens of other cultural and entertainment and sporting events that I would attend with my camera were not taking place. So that has affected my income, I'm sure, for this year, but also in the future, as it would have done for every stock photographer. Of course, the other low light was for stock photography was the change in the commission rates for shutterstock, which had a huge impact on me and a lot of other contributors. I'll reflect on the January changes that will be coming for shutterstock later in the video. So that's some of the lowlights, but a couple of the highlights that I noticed were that I was still able to make money despite this huge pandemic, the economic impact that it's had on the travel industry. I was still able to make money with microstock, which is sort of a small miracle, to be honest. I do have a lot of travel photos in my portfolio, but luckily because I'm scatterbrained and I like everything, I did spread my portfolio out amongst a lot of mundane subjects such as grains of sand or weeds growing through a pavement. And luckily a lot of those ordinary shots have come through for me and paid money. Yeah, simple shots like cigarette butts lying on the ground, or just trains running past a field of flowers, or simple shadows coming through mist in the woods. All of these sorts of shots, they still make money even though they're not spectacular and interesting like a lot of travel shots. They still provide a photo for someone who needs it out there, and those people are prepared to pay money for them. Also, another highlight I noticed was that I did sell quite a few videos in the year 2020, and those video sales provided for a substantial amount of my income, and that helped my bottom line significantly. So the trend towards uploading videos is strong, and I'm just going to keep doing it throughout my stock photography career. But in some cases the photos just really stood out for themselves and also provided for me a substantial amount of income when I was expecting the photos to dwindle a bit in the amount that they made. I made this huge $600 commission on one photo, which is the biggest commission I've ever made. 4 or 5 times bigger than any video commission that I've made, and that was for one photo of just VW combis, 2 of them, parked outside on Scheveningen. They weren't a spectacular photo, they weren't a particularly uncommon photo, but it still made $600. And I can't mention the agency for that which that photo made because it must not be mentioned. Okay, having said that, let's get into how much I made in the year 2020. Well, we'll start off with January. This is before COVID came in, whereas January was pretty strong and I earned $234.10. And in February there was still really no COVID in Europe or the US or the Western parts of the world. I think I was definitely in China at this stage, but it hadn't had a widespread effect yet. And in February I made $312.88. Coming into March now, I made $286, and COVID was just starting to take an impact on the travel industry and people's movements and of course people's health. And it's reflected in the next month of April, where I only made $91. In May I went down even further to $68, and in July I went down to $78.23. August was my lowest earning month so far, and that produced $58.61 across all the agencies. September came up a little bit with $103, and October we had some surprise sales and that went up to $219. And in November I made my record month ever over the 4 years that I've been uploading to stock agencies, and I earned $749 due to that one sale of the VW for $600. Yeah, and in December I earned $126. So overall for the year of 2020 I made $2,363. And considering that I spent a lot less time uploading videos and photos, and some of the agencies are continuing to sell photos and videos out of my portfolios, I consider that to be a pretty positive result, and I can definitely upgrade my oven with the profit that I've earned this year, which I'm happy about. Okay, so there's going to be some challenges for 2021. I know that a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm really glad that horrible year 2020 is over. But in my mind, things aren't going to change a lot for at least 3, 4 or even 6 months. We don't know what's going to happen with the vaccinations yet. So I'm just keeping my expectations pretty low. But one of the biggest challenges of 2021 is going to be the commission rates for shutterstock going all the way back down to 0 in January. So I know that January is going to be a real losing month for that agency for me. So it's quite an incentive to spread my assets over a lot more agencies. You know, I was sitting at my desk, stuck behind my computer, which I've been stuck behind for the last 8 months at home while working at home. And I was feeling sorry for myself and eating an apple, and somehow I breathed at the wrong time and I sucked down a piece of apple into my windpipe, and I seriously thought I was going to choke to death. Luckily I managed to cough the piece of apple out, but in those brief terrifying seconds I realized how much I enjoy life. And even though this year has been really crappy, to say the least, especially for people who have lost their jobs or worse, and I realized at that moment where I thought, this is it, I can't get this piece of apple out of my throat, I realized how much I wanted to keep living this life and how actually wonderful it was. So since then, I always remind myself when I'm down when I think this is crap. I'm really feeling sorry for myself. I'm stuck in this situation. I can't do anything about it. I'm powerless. I have no control over my life. I always think there is air in my lungs, I'm alive, and this life has some beautiful things to offer. So, having said that, if you are feeling down like I have been over the last 8 months, just remember that this life can offer some beautiful things. You know, at the moment it's January 2nd, and I'm standing on a beach in glorious sunshine. I have to be thankful for that. And on that note, guys, I wish you guys all the best for 2021. I don't expect it to get better in a hurry, but I don't care. I'm alive, I can still make photos, I can still make videos, and that makes me happy. Alright, see you next week, and look after yourselves, guys.